emanating from deep under the earth, spreading across the globe at the speed of thought, changing the world one brain at a time. This is the Final Order Report from Green Brain Comics. It's time for every Brainiac's favorite fire hose of Final Order information. Welcome to the Final Order Report, where we bring you a hand-picked selection of comics and graphic novels before they head to print and quantities are finalized. I am Dan Merritt, Chief Purchasing Officer at Green Brain Comics, and I'm here to give you the inside scoop and your last chance to subscribe or special order before the final order deadline this Monday at noon, April 14th. These titles will be hitting our shelves as soon as May 7th. Green Brain Comics and the Final Order Report are proudly powered by Comichub. Check out Comichub online at Comichub or comichub.com or download the mobile app for Android and iPhone. Create an account or access your existing account to order and pay securely online, ensuring you never miss an issue. Today I'll be using Comichub to showcase items from this week's Last Call for Confirmed Orders Carousel. Let's jump right into it. Once you sign in, check out the shop coming soon. That's where all the carousels are, including the orders due Sunday for Last Call Carousel. That's the one we will be using today. And before we get too far away from it, I'd just like to thank our good friends at Brainstem Productions and the rock and roll klezmer band Klezmageddon for their soundtracking of today's program. And one of the first things I want to show you today is some selections of small press comics that are on final order cutoff this week. And we'll start off with, from Ahoy Comics, it's the Toxic Avenger pinup special. Normally for a pinup special, I probably wouldn't show it in as a comic, but it is comic format, and it does contain a new short, canonical, unmissable story from Matt Bors and Fred Harper, the team behind the upcoming ongoing Toxic Avenger series. This takes that space for a month before they get that new series kicking off. This will be available on May 14th. And from Archie Comics, we get this very cool facsimile edition of Betty and Veronica. This is number 320 and features Betty and Veronica doing some gardening. A classic issue of a classic series that also introduces Cheryl Blossom, Riverdale's newest bombshell, and features a classic Dan DeCarlo cover. Over at Boom Studios, we get a series premiere. This is a sequel to The Killer from Luc Giacomo and writer Matz. This is The Killer Affairs of the State, Part 2. This will be available on May 21st. Has this A cover from Matz and a B cover by Tyler Boss. Dynamite Entertainment has Green Hornet Miss Fury number 5 on FOC this week, with this cover by Francesco Francavilla. And here we get a big debut from Dynamite Entertainment. This is the first big crossover they're doing between the Hanna-Barbera licenses that they have. This is Space Ghost and Johnny Quest. Space Quest. At last, the meeting the cosmos demanded. The Quest family is legendary for how far they'll go in the spirit of exploration and discovery, but now they're headed for outer space. Johnny and the gang are brought in to investigate a mysterious, potentially alien spacecraft being held at Area 51. And where there's a spaceship, there's bound to be aliens, right? What happens when Space Ghost and Johnny Quest cross paths? The greatest entertainment event of the 21st and a half century. That's what. Brought to you by the acclaimed creative team of Johnny Quest, of Joe Casey and Sebastian Perez, with an A cover by the ever popular Mark Spears. Got one from Joshua Middleton. That's pretty cool. And this Derek Chew cover. This is kind of nice. I see you peeking at me, Johnny. We got this cover from Ben Oliver. That's kind of cool. And Chad Harden on E. That's all for Space Ghost Johnny Quest. Space Quest number 1. Pardon me. Available on May 7th, but you could special order this and any of those cool variants and about 1 billion other ones, including a bunch of foil ones and whatever. Space Ghost Johnny Quest, Space Quest number 1 from Joe Casey and Sebastian Perez. From Dark Horse Comics, we get a bunch of cool looking books, including Jump Scare number 3. Number 2 just came out. It's a fun comic from Cullen Bunn and Danny Luckert. Horror action comedy. Let This One Be a Devil from James Tynion IV and Peter Kowalski. And a Gavin Fullerton cover. It's very nice. Ripperland number 4. Very spooky and gothic cover from Francesca Vivaldi and Dark Horse Comics. Here's an exciting one. You may remember this art style from some variant covers on a Godzilla comic last year from Jake Smith. He also did interiors on that Godzilla comic. That's right. He's jumped ship over to Dark Horse Comics to take his very own comic, Robo-Wolf. I'm excited about Robo-Wolf. This is Robo-Wolf and his crew of bank-robbing criminals are in a race against time to get a fat stack of stolen money. To get a fat stack of stolen money to the villainous Colonel Massacre, who has kidnapped Robo-Wolf's daughter for ransom. The Colonel is not the only one with an eye for the money, however, and our heroes will have to use their combined skills to tear through an onslaught of bloodthirsty cannibals, ninjas, robots, and more. From Jake Smith and Dark Horse Comics, available on May 21st. Robo-Wolf, number 1. Star Wars The Bad Batch Ghost Agents number 3 has this A cover from Valeria Favoccia and B cover from French Carlo Magno. Also from Dark Horse, The Great British Bump Off from John Allison and Max Sarin gets a second issue, as does Vatican City from Mark Miller and Per Berg. We got some of those on reorder. Those number 1 sold out real quick, but we got them on the reorder, hopefully coming back in very soon. Ghostbusters comes back with this new series, Dead Man's Chest. The Ghostbusters' increasing notoriety is throwing them for a loop, while Trevor steadies himself by trying to plan a friendiversary celebration for him and Lucky. Phoebe meets someone who might be a real friend instead of just a social media follower. These are good covers. Oh, it's a Max Sarin cover. Nice. On a Ghostbuster comic. It's Ghostbuster Dead Man's Chest with an A cover from, well, let's see, Tyler Crook. And a B cover from Max Sarin. Interiors written by David M. Bower and art by Aviv Orr. Available on May 21st. It's Ghostbusters. From Keen Spot, we get a new issue of Mark Spears' Monsters number 5. Hot off the heels of the Free Comic Book Day number 0 issue, acclaimed writer-artist Mark Spears brings you the fantastic 5th installment of his highly sought-after series. The group of kids rush to a nearby gas station, eager to call the sheriff and report the terrifying sight they saw at Old Man Crowley's place. But they're not alone. Hiding in the shadows, a savage werewolf is watching, and it's not about to let them leave alive. With a bajillion Mark Spears covers, we got this A cover called The Fight. This is called Haircut. This is an homage to Todd McFarlane cover. Homage to Rob Liefeld New Mutants cover. And a girl with a snake tattoo cover. All 4 Mark Spears Monsters number 5, available on May 28th. Get your orders in for any of these variant covers by this Monday, April 14th at noon. All right, we're getting a second printing of Blade Forger number 1. This is a new 5-issue miniseries from Inaki Miranda and Roy Miranda. Also from Mad Cave, we got Far Down Below number 2 from Chris Condon and Gigi Shaw with a Jacob Phillips cover. L.A. Strong gets a B cover. This is a one-shot, which is a charity comic for the victims of the Los Angeles fires. This has a new cover by Wando, and it's available for $9.99. Yeah. Pop Kill number 3 gets a Dave Johnson cover on A and an Adam Hughes cover on B. Pardon me. Eyes up here. Oh, wait. Vanishing Point number 1 is a new series from Mad Cave, written by Mark Russell with art by Juan Doe and this Christian Ward cover on A. In Screams, the captain of a mining ship goes on a 10-year solo mission to the Jupiter asteroid belt, where he makes a horrifying discovery. It's horrifying, I tell you. Just the 2 covers? Cool. The brainchild of Mark Russell, Vanishing Point is an anthology series of short stories that are part science fiction and part existential horror, with an exceptional roster of artists tackling each issue. These are stories with a twist, in which the twist is not the point of the story, but a beginning point from which to ask what it means to be alive. You got this swell Christian Ward cover. Cool skull. Don't eat me, skull. And then we got this Juan Doe cover on B. It's Vanishing Point number 1 from Mad Cave, Mark Russell and Juan Doe. Oni Press comes back with a second issue for Adventure Time by Derek Ballard, Nick Wynn, Asia Simone, and this cover by Nick Wynn. Got a B cover from Asia Simone. Also from Oni is a second printing of Free For All One Shot. This is a new printing of Patrick Horvath that I may have mentioned last week. It's on FOC again. Plague House gets a second issue. That first issue came out a couple of weeks ago. Cool, creepy, gothic horror from Michael W. Conrad and artist Dave Chisholm that did this A cover. We get a first issue for Money Shot Big Bang, written by Tim Seeley and Patton Oswalt, with an A cover by Garth Graham. Oh, then we got some new stuff from Zenescope. They're coming up on their 100th issue of Grimm Fairy Tales. This is issue 96 from Joe Bruscia and artist Marco Santucci. They've also got Grimm Fairy Tales Tales of Terror Volume 5, Number 5, also from Joe Bruscia and Eric J. And Killer Cobra Hunt Begins. This is a second issue of a 3-issue miniseries from Joe Bruscia and Jordi Tarragona. And the one-man writing industry, Joe Bruscia, returns with a Myths and Monsters spring one-shot. Don't miss this mythic and monstrously oversized action-packed issue collecting untold tales from across the Zenescope universe, with 3 never-before released stories featuring Man, Goat, and Bunny, Pooh, and the mysterious origin of Fury. Oh yeah, that's Pooh. Don't eat me, Pooh. Okay, over at IDW, we get a second issue for this beautiful new series by Sophie Campbell and Matt Frank. Mothra, Queen of Monsters, gets this Sophie Campbell cover. And a B cover from Elizabeth Beals. That's swell. Aww. Mothra's so cute. Meantime. Okay. Also from IDW, Lore War Part 4 exists in Star Trek Defiant number 27 with a cover from Malachi Ward. Oh, that's a pretty cool cover. All right, that does it for Small Press this week. Let me get back over here and say, yeah, I just kind of did a short list for IDW, not much this week. But let's jump right over into Image Comics. We'll kick off Image Comics with Adventure Man Family Tree. This is the second of 3 issues by Matt Fraction and the Dodsons. Blood Squad 7 gets an 8th issue by Joe Casey and Paul Fry. Also a B cover by Sebastian Perez. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 316, with a cover by Andy Kubert. And Grommets number 7 of 7 is finally going to print from Rick Remender, Brian Posehn, and Brett Parson, with this Brett Parson cover. This mini-series finale, a first kiss, leaving friends behind, changing schools mid-year, and facing your biggest fears in public. Rites of passage into the unknown for every kid trying to navigate the stormy seas of adolescence. All this and more in the poignant and triumphant final issue of the hit series Grommets, available on May 7th. All right. I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer number 1 just came out and did really well. We still got copies. But it is going back to print with this black and white Jay Lee cover. Monkey Meat, the summer batch, gets a 3rd of 5, available on May 7th. Spawn Salmon Twitch Case Files number 13 from Jordan Burrell and Thomas Nachlik, on art with a cover by Marco Failla. And a B cover by, a connecting cover, I get it, also by Marco Failla. Ooh, Spawn Scorch gets a wraparound cover. This is by Federico Sabatini. The issue is written by John Layman with art by Steven Segovia. And then we got a B cover from Raymond Gay. The Moon is Following Us, number 9. Oh, it's the penultimate issue from Daniel Warren Johnson and Riley Rossimo, who did this A cover. And Daniel Warren Johnson on B. Walking Dead, number 112. This is Walking Dead Deluxe, reprinting that classic issue. Guts all over the cover. By... for the first time in color, Walking Dead Deluxe number 112 from Robert Kirkman, Charlie Adler with a David Finch cover on A Charlie Adler cover on B, Whilce Portacio and Alex Sinclair on C. Ooh, then we get a couple new things here to talk about from Image Comics. Blood and Thunder is the series premiere. Bounty Hunter Akeldama. Bounty Hunter Akeldama Bledsoe and her cantankerous talking gun Thunder are the best out there at bringing in the bad guys. However, when the galaxy's most dangerous criminals break out of prison, Blood's hunt delivers her down a path that will unlock secrets about her past, present, and future. That's when things get really bad. The team of Benito Sereno and E.J. Sue, artist of Tech Jacket, along with colorist extraordinaire Michelle Miss Sassy K. Asarasakorn, in partnership with visionary creator Robert Kirkman, presents an all-new action epic set in the near future where Earth has integrated alien species into a new society, meaning there's a whole new set of rules and a whole load of new crimes to solve. It's Blood and Thunder number 1 with this E.J. Sue cover on A B cover by David Lopez, and this number 1 will be available on the shelves on May 7th. Make sure you get your orders in for these variant covers. Farmhand is back with a new story arc. Farmhand returns for its pulse-pounding final arc from Rob Galori and Jean-Francois Bellew with this Rob Galori cover on Farmhand 21. Yeah, it's good to have Farmhand back. I hope people remember you. Hey, look what also is back with a new story arc. It's Kaya with a 26th issue from Wes Craig with this Wes Craig cover on A and a very cool Peach Momoko cover on B. Make sure you check out Kaya on the Shelf by Wes Craig. Ooh, here's a big premiere. I want to take a minute to talk about this book. Free Planet is the first completely free planet in human history, and it's won its independence. Now, a group of revolutionary heroes must defend the planet's unique energy source from a pair of hostile intergalactic powers while determining what complete freedom actually entails. Writer Aubrey Sitterson and artist Jed Doherty blend the intricate future history of East of West with this emotional space opera. The emotional space opera stylings of Saga in a story about freedom and the sacrifices it demands. Early praise for Free Planet Free Planet demands to be read in a comfy chair next to a fire or the window of a starship while talking in a distant supernova. While taking in a distant. All right, I'm not going to read other people's words. I am going to say I read this first issue. It was a substantial read for 32 pages. You get fat-packed fun and comic world building from two people that have been collaborating together for years. That's Aubrey Sitterson and artist Jed Doherty, who did this A cover. We got a B cover also from Jed Doherty. And a blank sketch cover for Free Planet #1, available on May 7th. Get your orders in. All right, that wraps up our focus on Image Comics. Let's kick off the next section for DC Comics. What's next for DC Comics is Absolute Green Lantern #2. This will be available on May 7th, and we'll have this Janoy Lindsay cover on A. This new series from Al Ewing and artist Janoy Lindsay has proven pretty exciting. Very cool first issue. Very different take on the Green Lantern. The first Green Lantern of Earth. Absolute Green Lantern also has this B cover by Juliet Aneka, a D cover by Jeff Spokes, which is a connecting cardstock variant, and a C cover from Torrin Clark. Yeah, that's a nice cover. It's Absolute Green Lantern. Ooh, we also get a new issue of Absolute Superman. This is #7, The Horrors of Absolute Brainiac, written by Jason Aaron, with this cover with interiors by Carmine Di Giandomenico, and this cover by Rafa Sandoval. A Dan Panosian cover, cardstock cover on B. This very cool Leslie Lyrics Lee variant. Oh, it's sad Superboy. And next up, we got Batgirl #7. This is the second story arc, which starts right here, spinning out of Mother. The first arc's world-shattering finale, Lady Shiva reveals her true secret origins to Batgirl for the very first time, courtesy of special guest artist Isaac Goodhart. Don't miss the definitive history of Lady Shiva from writer Tate Bromble, interior artist Isaac Goodhart, with this cover by Reiko Murakami, who's just been turning in some stunning A covers. A B cover by Dan Mora. Isaac Goodhart on the cardstock C. And Cliff Chang coming in with the AAPI Heritage Month cardstock variant, which is a big connecting theme, which we'll show you some more of in a very short order. Ooh, love that Cliff Chang cover. All for Batgirl #7. Let's see how we doing for time. Ooh, I gotta kick this into high gear. All right, next up. Batman 616. This is the facsimile edition of that issue from Jeff Loeb and Scott Williams from the original Hush run. Birds of Prey #21 gets a new villainous team up with writer Kelly Thompson and interior artist Sammy Basri with this Annie Wu cover. A Nimit Malavia cover, who is the flavor of the month. The flavor of the quarter, I'll say. Birds of Prey #21 also gets this Ryan Gonzalez cardstock variant that'll be available on May 7th. Ooh, and another AAPI Heritage Month connector variant. Brave and the Bold 57 gets a facsimile edition. This is featuring The Origin of Metamorpho, written by Bob Haney with interior art by Charles Paris and, of course, Ramona Freydon, who did this A cover. JSA number 7 just released this cover art this morning after the shocking conclusion of number 6, JSA, The Society in Mourning. The Justice Society and the rest of the hero community mourn the loss of one of their own. But as the dirt settles, the JSA needs to find a way forward to stop the Injustice Society's plans, or the world is doomed. From Jeff Lemire and artist Rafael de la Torre. We got this A cover by Jorge Fornes. Sweeney Boo on this cardstock cover. Jerry Ordway and Todd Knock, all for JSA number 7. Justice League, the Atom Project number 5. It's the penultimate issue of this 6-issue miniseries. This chapter called Inferno Strikes, from writer John Ridley and Ryan Parrott, with art by Mike Perkins, who did this A cover. A B cover from Laura Braga. And a Kevin Wada cardstock variant. And a Cliff Chang Heritage Month cardstock variant. Yeah. All right. Poison Ivy has their series artist return. Marcio Takara comes back after a few issues break. An awful tragedy is unfolding, and it appears as though there's nothing Pamela Isley can do about it. G. Willow Wilson writes this script with art from Marcio Takara and a Jessica Fong cover on A. Variants by Joshua Swaby. That's very creepy. Dead Eyes. And Kyung Eom on cover C cardstock variant. Resurrection Man Quantum Karma gets a second of 6 issues. Interiors by artist Anand R.K. Covers by Jeff Deckel, Philippe Andrade. And yeah, that's written by Ram V. First issue was lots of fun. Secret 6 number 3 returns with the script by Nicole Maines, interior art by Steven Scovia, and also did this A cover, a B cover from Ariel Olivetti, and a Leslie Lyrics Lee cardstock variant for Secret 6 number 3. All right, Teen Titans Go number 3 is scheduled for May 7th. And Two-Face number 6, the ultimate issue of this 6-issue miniseries, drops on May 7th with this terrifying cover by Baltimore Rivas, interior art by Fabio Veras, and written by Christian Ward. All right, that wraps up our final order report for DC Comics. Now let's talk about a big old list of Marvel comics. We'll kick it off with a Star Wars title, Jedi Knights number 3. It's scheduled for May 14th, written by Mark Guggenheim, with this cover by Matabek, with interiors by Matabek, Musabekov, and a Raza cover, with a Dan Jurgens cover on B. And a Ramon Rosanes cover. Oh, and a Torrin Clark cover. All new Venom number 5 gets a second printing with this Carlos Gomez variant. Daredevil Cold Day in Hell comes back with number 2 from Charles Soule and artist Stephen McNiven, who did this A cover, and a B cover by Esed Ribic. Ooh, and a C cover by Gabriel Del Lotto. Uh-oh, something smells real bad. You know how Daredevil is what smells. All right, Daredevil Unleash Hell. This is the Red Band series, which all the covers come polybagged, so I'll just show you the cover A. This is from Paulo Sequeira. This is probably the final issue of this series. They don't give us too much information there. Maybe. I don't know. Could be continuing. All right. So, Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe one last time. Number 1 gets a second printing from Marvel Comics. And this new cover by Lionel Francis Yu. Yeah, this second printing will be available on May 14th. If you're interested, please place your special orders. I still got plenty of copies of the first print. I don't need this, but you might want it. Helverine gets a 6th issue from Ben Percy, Raphael Ienko in this Kendrick Kunka Lim cover. And a Chris Campagna variant. Let's see. What's next? Immortal Thor, number 23. Even an immortal can die. The All-Father had battled to the middle of the endless city, and now he faces the beast at the center of the maze. Keemer, who was bull and hawk and serpent, who was fire and the sword, now face Thor, Odin's son, and perhaps neither would survive. It's Immortal Thor number 23, God War, with a cover by Alex Ross, and a B cover featuring the Alex Ross Timeless variant of Valkyrie, a Giuseppe Camuncoli Impossible variant. Oh boy. This Martin Kokolo Death of the Immortal Thor variant. And I just got word that Immortal Thor number 25 will be the last issue for a little while. It's going to take a little break and then I think resume shortly thereafter. We'll see. Immortal Thor number 23 available on May 14th. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 33 from Cody Ziegler, Marco Reno, and this cover by Federico Vincentini, and a Torrin Clark cover. What is it with smells this week? Ultimate Black Panther number 16 has the Stefano Caselli cover and a Rod Rice variant. That's nice. Uncanny X-Men number 14 with a David Marquez cover, including interiors, and a Luciano Vecchio cover. I like that. That's nice. Marvel Animation variant. Wolverine number 9. Hey, can't go home again, Logan. Logan begins his new quest after the shocking events of last month's anniversary issue. First stop brings him back to the Howlett estate. But he ain't alone. Harpoon and Vertigo have designs on Wolverine. And they're not the only ones. Wolverine number 9, written by Saladin Ahmed with interior art by Javier Pina. And this cover by Martin Kokolo, a Rod Rice cover. And X Factor number 10. I think this is the final issue of the series. Yes. What does it mean for a mutant to serve? From Mark Russell and Bob Quinn with a Greg Land cover. And an Alan Quah cover. Phoenix 11. Phoenix is still going. Look, it made it past the impassable issue 10 for a solo series, for a solo X-Men series. The booming voice sounds across the cosmos. The voice of Ego, the living planet, as he speaks in distress of a great imbalance, a fracturing, a coming death. And the only one who can stand in its way is the Phoenix. But that's not all. In this all-new arc, Jean Grey's calling to space and responsibility to the galaxy becomes suddenly critically personal with the return of a long-lost loved one, whose presence will throw everything Jean knows into total chaos. From Stephanie Phillips and interior artist Roy Mercado, with this cover by Lucas Verneck, Rod Rice, A Joe Quesada variant. What? How you do? Very nice, too. Peach Momoko variant. All for Phoenix number 11, available on May 14th. And let's hit a bunch of Doom and one World Under Doom crossovers. We got Doctor Strange of Asgard number 3, featuring a depowered Stephen Strange, axe wielding, hanging out with pals. Written by Derek Landy with art by Carlos Magno, and this cover by Jeff Shaw. David Yarden variant. That's pretty cool. I like that. Doom Academy number 4 from Mackenzie Cadenhead and Pasquale Ferry with a cover by Ramon Villalobos and a Lee Woo Chol variant. Ooh, and a Yannick Paquette variant too. That's very nice. One World Under Doom continues with issue 4. One World Under Doom is written by Ryan North with interior art by R.B. Silva and this A cover from Ben Harvey. 80 grain off variant. This Alex Ross Timeless Virgin variant of Nighthawk. And let's see, we got this Federico Vincentini variant. And the obligatory Doomasaur variant by Corey Smith. This is One World Under Doom with an RB Silva variant. So many covers for One World Under Doom. And Red Hulk number 4 also features a crossover. Enemies of the State. Thunderbolts Ross. This book also features Thunderbolt Ross, Machine Man, and Deathlock. That's pretty cool. Written by Ben Percy with interior art and this cover by Jeff Shaw. A John Boy Myers variant. And this Ken Lashley variant. Also continuing our spotlight on One World Under Doom, Thunderbolt's Doom Strike from Colin Kelly and Tommaso Bianchi gets this 4th issue with a cover by Lionel Francis Hugh. An Alex Ross Timeless variant featuring Captain Marvel. And a Rod Rice variant featuring Bucky Barnes trying to eat my brain. And the big number 1 debut for this week's final order is Gwenpool number 1. This new series is written by Cavan Scott with interior art by Stefano Nessi. Gwenpool is back and more dangerous than ever. Everyone's favorite reality twister's life is changing, becoming darker, grittier, bringing her own brand of hyper-violent justice to a battle-strewn New York City. Who is the Dark Gwenpool, and what has she got to do with the spectacular Spider-Man? Guest starring Fin Fang Foom and Jeff the Shark. This one will shock you to the core. It is Gwenpool number 1, available from Marvel Comics on May 14th from writer Cavan Scott and artist Stefano Nessi with this A cover from Chad Hardin, Greg Land, Gurihiru, Chi Young Lee, Paco Medina, a Todd Knock iconic variant, all for Gwenpool number 1, making its debut on May 14th. Get this and any of these variants by special ordering through Comic Hub right now. And that, folks, wraps up our final order report on Marvel Comics. before I let you go, let's do a quick move on over to Green Brain events. That's right, folk. We got lots of events happening, and we're going to do it like that. That we will. Thank you very much for tuning into Final Order Report this week. Let's tell you about a couple of events. This evening, Friday, April 11th, we are co-hosting an event at Downey Brewing Company, 13121 Prospect in Dearborn, East Dearborn, 313-288-8442, downeybrewingcompany.com. Make sure to Google those directions. It's a little wonky to get there, but once you find it, you know where it is. It is the East Dearborn Drink and Draw at Downey Brewing Company, co-hosted by our friends over at Blick Art Material and, of course, Green Brain Comics. We'll see you there. And this Friday is Superman Day, Friday, April 18th is Superman Day at Green Brain Comics. All day long, we will be giving away free Superman comics while supplies last. Limited special editions will be available while supplies last, and discounts on Superman stuff throughout the store. We will be playing Superman cartoons for all of y'all, because that's how I roll. And it's part of the 40th anniversary of Green Brain Comics. And a week from Monday, it's Brain Candy 67, Monday, April 21st, inside Green Brain Comics. And put together by the Emerging Writers Network, we welcome in poet Ken Mizell, the prose of Jason Clam, the music of Kevin Mizell, and the visual art of Jeff Van Zant, all for Brain Candy number 67, brought to you by the Emerging Writers Network and held for free inside Green Brain Comics on Monday, April 21st. And in just a few short weeks, Free Comic Book Day returns to Green Brain Comics on Saturday, May 3rd. We'll be partying all day. Well, all day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll be giving away free comics, 3 per for anybody that stops in, with lots of opportunities to get plenty more. There's more information on our website, link in the description. Do mark it on your calendar. Tell all your friends. Load up the car with your family. Bring them all down to Free Comic Book Day. We've got a host of local creators, many of which we are just about to announce. I don't have that list up yet. Wait, let's see. See if I can get that list up. I might be able to. There it is. Yeah, Free Comic Book Day at Green Brain Comics is the first Saturday in May. This year, we will be bringing in longtime guests and former staff at Green Brain Comics. We are welcoming back Tamisha Brooks and Shay Glover, along with former guests at Free Comic Book Day and good friends of the store. We are bringing back for our 40th anniversary, Jim Anderson, Matt Fazell, Jay Foskett, our good friend Emily Zelasco, and that will be for the first shift from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Jim Anderson, Matt Fazell, Jay Foskett, and Emily Zelasco. The Friends for the Animals of Metro Detroit will also be there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with an adoptable animal. You can also donate to their cause throughout the day. That day from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. we'll also be welcoming in classic Detroit comic creators Andre Batts and Eisner Award winner David Peterson is coming back to Free Comic Book Day. We're so excited to bring David Peterson back. And of course, I've still got a few more. I'm getting choked up. I'm so excited. We're bringing in Bronze Age Marvel artist Arvell Jones. Detroit legend Arvell Jones comes to Free Comic Book Day at Green Brain Comics from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And our big marquee guest for the day at Green Brain Comics for his first big publisher debut book. We're giving it away for free. We are welcoming back in comic creator Sean Peacock, Detroit, a Dearborn native and former Green Brain staffer. Sean Peacock is having his debut book from IDW Publishing debut on Free Comic Book Day. We are giving away hundreds of copies. Do make sure to check out Free Comic Book Day all day long on Saturday, May 1st. That's Saturday. I screwed up my own pitch. Free Comic Book Day is Saturday, May 3rd at Green Brain Comics from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Oh, this show, it's just running so long. Oh my gosh. I got to wrap it up, folks. Green Brain Comics is Free Comic Book Day. Oh boy. Lots more information up on the website very soon. And do come back to YouTube on Tuesday and join us for Brain Scan Live. We kick it off Tuesday night at 6:30. This will be a live stream preview of New Comic Book Day from the floor of Green Brain Comics on the eve of New Comic Day. It's Brain Scan. And join me back here in 1 week from today. It's Final Order Report. I will be talking to you about all the great new comics that are going to print and giving you your final opportunity to secure your copies of any of these fantastic variants. Folks, thank you so much for joining me today. And that's it. That's almost every comic book on Last Call this weekend. And you've got until Monday at noon, April 14th, to order these items and many, many more. Please send and confirm items in your cart before the deadline. Thanks for joining me for the Final Order Report. Stay up to date on all of our happenings. We are Green Brain Comics on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Blue Sky. All the links to our shopping cart, website, and Comichub are below in the description. Music for this episode provided by Klezmageddon and Brainstem Productions. We are spreading the love of comic books and graphic novels from the heart of East Downtown Dearborn since 1985. Feed your brain at Green Brain Comics. Thanks for watching, folks. Emanating from deep under the earth, spreading across the globe at the speed of thought, changing the world one brain at a time. This is the Final Order Report from Green Brain Comics.